What's up, everybody? This is a critique of my personal home office that we just kind of redid. You will see censor signs throughout the video. A few of them are to hide family photos, but most of them are to hide things that mean a lot to me that I'm relatively private about, unless you're on Patreon and listen to the kitchen table. And if you do that, then you know what's behind those censor marks. Enjoy. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 4 Dummies, and tonight I am joined with the other 3 dummies. I have Mr. Robert Detoff.
Hello.
Mr. Just One.
Yo, what's happening?
And Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
And tonight we are going to continue with the collection critique. If you want the uncut version of this, please feel free to tune in to the Patreon uncut edition at $5, where you also get Sit Down Saturday and a ton of other Transformers Legends reviews and so on and so forth. But for now, you know the routine. Check your feelings at the door, including myself. And I'm... And I want to be upfront and honest. We've already looked at this space, but Marilyn Phil videoed it, and we had a power surge that night. There's also a curse of Marilyn Phil at Skullface, where whenever he touches the camera, something goes wrong with the footage. That being said, we lost the footage, so instead we're doing it here live. This is my new office space, presented to you. Pam, 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 pam. Here it is.
Because I would like to remark on a few things that aren't necessarily obvious based on these photos. We reviewed the space in the evening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The space is remarkably dark in the evening. Bobby's counterpoint is no one's ever here in the evening. True, but Jisk and I both thought maybe he could figure out he can get Joe on the shelves, and crawl around in there and rig up some lights for him or something.
That is true.
It does need lights.
It only, but it only
man.
Look, you don't get to argue.
Okay.
No one gets to argue.
Okay, all right, you're fair. That's fair. That's fair.
It needs lights. If you're looking at this very first photo where you have the 2 detolfs, if anything, just the cabinet in the middle needs to be lit. Because even in the day, it's hard to see what's in there. I see you moved Vader back a little bit. Wasn't Vader more forward?
I don't think so. I did.
I feel like you've touched this up since Mr. Secret. I feel like this is bullshit.
I have touched a few things up, but not many.
This is a resubmission. It's got to go to the end.
Got to go to the end of the line.
I like the hat side. Like, I would like to reiterate, I think at the bottom should be 2 boots.
Yep,
and then you should have 2 weathered gloves sticking out on either edge of the detolf.
And to be honest, I can't show it because my mopping gear has my mopping company on the gear itself, so I can't show it, so it'll be censored.
Oh boy.
Well, but they know what mopping gear looks like, and you need more of it.
Yeah,
because I think it's cool. I think it just balances everything out because it's out of place, but also in fitting as well. If that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked about, but you're putting something on top of these bookcases. You have something planned for the tops?
No, not yet.
So
you want something.
We have discussed a couple of options. One being a Superman statue that I love. I'll show a picture of it here. And then if we put that there, then I would have to humor my wife with another statue that she wants. That is very expensive on the aftermarket. But
what is it?
It's a poison ivy statue. It's,
ooh,
nice job, Laura. The pricey one.
It's very pricey. It's like it has like a Japanese motif. Like she's in like one of those little robes.
I will say, looking at this space, still at the same first photo, these black cubes that you have underneath the detolfs do need something bright and colorful. It needs something in them, because them just being solid black, like it just looks like negatives.
It's excess.
Everything's so bright that it looks like a negative space, and your eye just goes to it.
Is that a stack of printer paper?
No, because I would have.
You can't keep office supplies in there, man.
I would have removed it.
What is that?
It's a book of family secrets.
And Robert, that's not printer paper. It's a binder on its side.
The second photo, I do like your use of the floating shelves in lieu of the bridge.
They do look nice.
They do look nice. Sorry,
yeah, I agree. No. I was on that. I was going to that anyway as well. So where you've got your floating shelves above the computer, you've got these turtles at the top one. Well, first of all, you got the dummy stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
The 4 spirit animals of the 4 dummies. I'm the ape. Robert's the bulldog. Laura's the giraffe. And Jiska's the manatee.
Manatee?
I'm the ape because Robert used to always send this GIF of him and I when I would try to keep him under control on Shattered Cast of an ape walking a bulldog on a leash. Laura's the giraffe, and we're not really sure where that came from. And then Jisk drew a manatee one time and sent it to the Dummies chat, and I was like, what the f-? And he's and just responded, dude, that dude's in no hurry. And
Chill.
he became part of the manatee life.
I love that stuff.
So you can't. These photos don't do it justice, but that turtle van is trash. We know why you have it there. You're using it as a riser. It houses the original DVD set, but when you're looking at it in person, it just looks out of place.
He's
I don't think it looks like
it looks like
I
some
don't
kid's
either.
lunchbox.
I don't either.
That's called an MP10 display.
And then Mutagen Man was out of place on that shelf.
Yeah, so
Mutagen Man.
he is out of place on that shelf. Someone gifted that to me, and I kept it in because I didn't have a place for it, and I had an empty space.
And then I think we talked about the books on the Stunnicon shelf at the bottom need to be. I think the books need to all be on these stands. Like
yes,
you have.
and Laura and I both agree with that, and we're going to look to buying stands in the not too distant future.
So going through, you should probably get a smaller computer screen. I think I would work on that too.
And you need a smaller printer.
Did you pay him?
I did not, but just I agree. It was too small. When that shit arrived, I was like, man, what's up with this computer? Why not get the baby version?
Dude, it's the size of the keyboard.
All I gotta say is, Bobby, your printer is cute.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you need for a printer, really? But like,
No, the computer's fine.
no, the screen should be bigger. It should be bigger. I deserve a bigger screen. What do you think of the layout of the room? For one, with like the sitting chair and everything, and then also in comparison to the way the room used to look, which you guys also are familiar with.
It flows because it's way open. Before that, you had the desk that came and just cut the whole space. So now, if you're into feng shui and energy, it flows. It's open. It feels good.
Yep, I agree 100%.
You do need some kind of art above the doors.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we mentioned that when we were there in person, but just something just to fill up the space.
You 100%.
And then it'll kind of match. It'll mirror, you could even do another, like if you have another song, you could even do another wave file. It wouldn't look bad. It kind of just would mirror.
Yeah, I think
get a song coming in, song going out.
I think I'd rather do something different, but I agree.
Can I ask you this? Have you considered, I'm not even sure if it would work, but have you thought about like shears for the inside on the doors?
No, because usually the doors stay open in the first place.
Right.
So like seeing the blue walls from the kitchen into there, like
It looks nice.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Tell everybody what these cubes are of these maps are.
So if you look at these maps on the wall, it's kind of Maryland. So it's the state, obviously, and then it's Baltimore, and then DC, and then another area that's sort of near and dear to me within that area. That if you weren't from that area, you wouldn't know what it is. But if you were from that area, you'd be like, holy shit, is that such and such? And I'd be like, yep.
What people know too when you're looking at it, because they're 3D printed.
DC is fourth. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, but yeah, they're 3D printed, so they're they're raised a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really cool. It's not just like a flat thing. They're really cool and interesting to look at when you see them in person.
Yeah.
So I think those are unique, and I've not seen them anywhere else, which I think is cool. Is this a movie shelf? I guess so. It's like you've got some.
Yep. So
let's talk about that.
So I have two shelves that are kind of like densely populated, as I would describe them, and like one is like general movie stuff that is kind of like my ode to Hollywood in a way. It's like not necessarily Gone with the Wind or whatever, but theatrical productions that have meant a lot to me that wouldn't have a place anywhere else. So you have Godzilla, you have King Kong, you have Indiana Jones, you have Marty and Doc from Back to the Future, Gremlins, etc., etc. And all of those have like a special place in my heart. They're not just like meaningless. And I think even like stuff like Predator and Aliens and RoboCop, like people tend to be super into them and have enough sort of memorabilia to fill up a whole shelf of that sort of stuff. But I'm not. I'm kind of just like a fan from the back row who's like, yeah, I dig that. So it's nice enough for me to have that all in one place.
I said, you should put a little Hollywood sign in the back there.
Yeah, I don't think that would be terrible either. And then the other one is like a horror shelf. So like I love horror movies. I don't get to watch them as much as I wish, I'm missing one character specifically that means a lot to me. But other than that, I have every kind of representation of every horror icon that has ever sort of, I don't know, tickled my fancy, for lack of a better term, like that resonated with me, that I cared about. And I think I could raise up some of the furthest back row a bit more, but all in all, I'm happy that I get to see them. Like, they used to be on a shelf in the basement that was a black Billy shelf, and a lot of them are darker characters, so they all sort of blended in, and now I see them afar a bit more against those white shelves, despite not having a light in those shelves.
Right, like I think Frankenstein should be probably raised the highest, because I always just picture that dude as huge, you know what I mean? So if he's taller than everybody, it'll give that look. But I do love how the
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, dude, the way that this photo looked with that pumpkin, it looks like he's playing ball and he's crossing over everybody. What figure is missing out of here?
The Ring. There's a There's a SH Figuarts figure of the female ghost, poltergeist character from The Ring that I still want.
Crawling out of the TV.
Yeah, but I don't know. But
she's just standing.
She's still she's latex kind of piece now. So I just haven't felt like forking over the money for her. But she's the only one I'm missing. And then I'm done. Like I kind of, if they were to make the Darth Maul character from Insidious, like if they were to make that character, I'd probably buy it. But like they haven't. So like if they just made her, I'm pretty much golden. And the other character that's obviously missing from here is Regan from The Exorcist, which I love and adore. But I have in the bookcase next to it, I have a 1/10 scale Regan Iron Studios statue in her bed. That's absolutely fantastic. I look at it all the time.
There's one character that appears to be missing that actually isn't.
The Invisible Man.
That's great. Have you considered putting the Reagan in the middle of this and putting some of these other ones down where the Reagan is?
Like I have, but I don't think it will. I don't think it will hit.
You lose or something, because the Reagan, it's so cool. Like it's such a cool centerpiece.
The Reagan's
around.
So I'll be honest with you, I'm not happy with where the Reagan is. Because
and I don't think
she's far greater than the space that she has. So I'm aware of that, but I just don't know what to do with her quite yet.
It sucks because anywhere else that you put it, if you take it out of there and put it anywhere else, it's gonna feel out of place. It's gonna be like, why isn't it in the mix somewhere? So you're kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
Well, no matter where you put it in the room.
The other thing I want to draw your eyes to, since we're probably just going to stay on this one for the rest of the duration, is my Apes shelf, which I'm pretty happy with, and actually has a little bit of room for expansion. So if like they do anything from these, like the Kingdom of the Apes trilogy, like I can expand this shelf. It's not stuck. Like there's room to make it larger.
But yeah, it looks good. We don't have I could probably critique it more if there's a one-off photo, but it's hard for me to zoom in on.
Yeah, you can't really see it, but it has like all the apes from like the 70s films that NECA produced. It also has all the apes from the trilogy of Rise, Dawn, and War. It also has a book that Marilyn Phil got me of the making of Planet of the Apes from the 70s, and then it has an art piece that Cody did of Caesar in the opposite corner. It's like it's a really well balanced, laid out shelf of like celebrating the franchise from top to bottom.
Right. What I like too is it works. Like even having those 70s characters mixed in with the other thing, like it works. They don't seem out of place. Like it just
100%
all works for some weird reason.
Yep, I agree. It feels like in some way that you're viewing the actual evolution of it in some way. There's one thing I wanted to mention is that like that Star Wars 1/5 scale Anakin statue is a piece that I kind of struggled to find a place to put in anywhere meaningful, and it really does own that position. And like I wouldn't put anything next to it because like it kind of has finally had its day in the sun, and it's not
in more ways than one.
Yeah, it's for sure. And it's not too big, and it still occupies the space, and it's a piece in my mind that like you look at that piece, it tells the entire story that matters of Star Wars. Like it's
right, and of that character for sure. Yeah. Well, Laura, when you walk in there, this is what I want to know. When you walk in, what's the one thing that just feels out of place to you as soon as you walk in?
So I don't know that I feel like there's anything that's out of place, but I will tell you
it's Bobby.
Regret my rug size decision.
Really? Mm-hmm. You think it should have been bigger?
I do.
I don't.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think so either. I hear why you would think that, right? Especially from some of the photos, it looks too small. But I think it would look weirder if it's longer. Then you have all this space that's not being used on the rug.
Yeah, the room is kind of narrow, so it was hard to find. Like, I don't think I would necessarily increase the width, but I would like it to be a little bit longer.
But I will tell you another thing that I feel like goes unnoticed in this room, but I think has value and sort of the stuff that we've been talking about recently is like the little sitting area. Like there's this little sitting area with a chair and a little thing to put your drink on next to it while you hang out. And like I'm usually in the quote unquote the captain's seat, sort of editing and carrying away. But I have found myself going in there and just hanging out. Hanging out, sitting in that seat, putting my drink or my coffee on the little chair, looking at some of the on there, and then also looking at my phone or bullshit. Like it does make all the difference. It does allow you so here's the thing. If I sit in the captain seat, I feel obligated to start working.
Right.
If I sit in that other seat, I feel a bit of relaxation and the ability to kind of take it all in and enjoy it. Yeah.
That's that good feng shui, man.
Yeah. I also want to say that this is the first space that we've ever done where we completely revisualized it from ground up and didn't have a lot of stuff that we had to fit inside of it, and that was an interesting exercise. The only thing that we had to fit inside of it was the details. Everything else we had a clean slate,
new color,
furniture, etc. We were able to make everything match, including the sitting area, the rug, everything. And I do highly advise everyone that's starting with a clean slate to pick a color palette and start with the furniture and then figure out the toys afterwards. It does make all the difference.
Yeah. Doink.
Bobby Bad Ape Face.
A map of Florida.
Orange Crush.